Basil.
Stephen.
226.
Yep.
This is called Broken
We should
Biscuits.
do one where it's like 226.5.
Why?
That's just for the garden cultures.
No, this is, you know what it is? So, because we've got a
go
backlog of podcasts, we have got a few garden cultures to go through.
Do you know COVID's happened?
Yes.
Everyone's backlogged.
Yes.
Don't blame anyone. It is what it is.
I'm not, who am I blaming?
Just because we've got backlogs. That's just happens.
Well, I'm
life.
a stating a fact,
Yeah.
or am I
In case
moaning?
anyone's moaning out there.
Well,
Just
there's a
be
backlog.
moaning, you all don't moan.
There's a backlog, and there's a backlog of garden culture magazines to go through. So the last episode was Garden Culture Magazine. This episode is Garden Culture Magazine. The next episode will be Garden Culture Magazine. But
not.
they're all, there's loads to go through, but they're all, we're not going to call them a Garden Culture review anymore till we get through these next few magazines. We are basically going through the articles and talking about each article, and just, it's called, these next few podcasts are going to be called Broken Biscuits Part 1. And that's what we're going to talk about. It's going to be random, random articles that come out the Garden Culture Magazine from all of the authors, and basically teach you some shit.
Yeah, man.
You ready for it, Barry?
I'm ready.
Should we go to an intro?
Go.
Should we go to an intro?
Let's go.
Let's go now.
All good? Ready to go? Turn my voice up a little bit. Oh, God, for everyone watching, the whole family.
Are you ready to go? Are you built a beer in the house that I built, in the booth that I built?
I know people tune in every Sunday to listen, but even when business is good, we still manage to do the podcast.
Barry, off your phone, mate. You are addicted to that rectangular piece of plastic, metal, and elephant glass. How much time did you spend on Instagram last week?
What episode are we on?
226.
Well, then let's go.
How much time did you spend on Instagram last week?
Don't worry about me.
Was it 12
Why are
hours?
you worrying about
Was
me
it 12
for?
hours?
You
Or was it
spend
18?
well more time.
I can show you the proof, I don't.
Oh, let's just go. You're boring people.
So, Barry, podcast 226.
We're doing it in alphabetical order.
Go on, do it in alphabetical order.
Yeah. SANlight.
That's fine by me.
SANlight LEDs.
Just prove to people you can do it in alphabetical order, otherwise there's going to be some...
AutoPot. BudBox. CANNA. What's up there?
There's a difficult
Gavita,
one.
garden culture.
No,
and
garden
SANlight.
culture Gavita.
Oh, because it's got the other word in it.
Yeah.
No one's...
G-A-V,
If
G-A-R.
they're anything like me, they're not asked.
Yeah, there you go. And what did you do for... Who came first, CANNA or CANFilter?
CANNA.
No, CANFilter.
Why?
Because it's an F, not an N.
Yeah, but CANNA's just one word. CANNA's got two A's in it.
Aardvark.
Aardvark.
So, go on then. Let's do the partners.
We're going alphabetical order now.
Let's just go from the top.
AutoPot.
AutoPot Watering Systems website is autopot.co.uk. Instagram is autopot_global.
Yeah, I can't read your writing, mate.
My writing's brilliant. You need to get your eyes tested.
Mm-mm.
And they also have AutoPot Cultivation Consultancy, the world's leading gravity-fed system
It is.
for watering your plants. We had a customer in today. He didn't put a layer of pebbles on the bottom.
And
He didn't turn the tap off.
And he killed everything.
Well, not quite. He to be fair to me, he's new. Brand new, first time doing it. And houseplants, we're actually going to talk about houseplants a little bit later on, but he was doing his houseplants. And
Lilies he was doing.
yeah, and he just left the tap on and he didn't put the layer of pebbles on and they went yellow.
Lazy gardener.
Well, we'll give it to you know what he likes. He likes his gardening. I think he was just brand new. That's it. He was just new to the game, and it's a lesson learned. And that's how we all learn. We all make mistakes, and as long as you learn from your mistakes, you become a better gardener.
To succeed.
You have. You don't become the best captain by sailing smooth waters.
You don't, mate.
So there you go. Put that one in your pipe
to
and
climb
smoke
the
it.
mountain to see the view.
You have. You've got to catch the fish to smell the fish. I just made that one up.
I was going to say, what fish have you been smelling on?
Who's next?
CANNA.
CANNA. They are canna-uk.com. You can put the www at the beginning if you like. And they are on Instagram, canna.uk.official. Barry, how long before we start having to read TikToks out? The TikTok profiles?
I won't even read them out, mate. You've got like a better voiceover. So I'll say them, who they are, and then you can say,
we'll get into a bit of a rhythm and blues.
Their Instagram name is, as you can
So CANNA are the UK's, Europe's, and probably, I'll do a Carlsberg speech, probably the most sold indoor horticultural plant nutrients in the world. Easy to use, pH adjusted for you naturally, guaranteed results every single time. That's why people love it. So CANNA UK, CANNA Global for everyone else. It's available everywhere. Go and check out their website. If you need to know about growing with nutrients, the website is full of information, which is canna-uk.com. Who's next, Basil? Erwin. Can Filters. They are canfilters.nl, the website. Need to know about ventilation, you go to canfilters.nl, and they've got an abundance of information of what filters to use, what fans to use, how you match them, airflows. Very good to start your environmental research and how you set up your grow room. You can follow them, Erwin_canfilters or canfilters.nl on Instagram. Bring us another one, Basil.
BudBox.
BudBoxGrowTents.com. Beautiful people at that company.
Haven't they got an Instagram?
Yes, they have. I'm just talking about the website first. Beautiful people, beautiful website. And I really like the BudBox team. You know what? Small team, but very efficient. BudBox Grow Tents on Instagram. Voted in Garden Culture magazine the best grow tent multiple times. Feed me another one.
Gavita.
Their website is very, very good. Gavita.com. So if you want to go there, they have the HPS lights, the ceramic metal halide lights. They've got everything that you need to know about lighting on that website. How you choose reflectors, degree of angles. Like, very good website for information. Which, to be fair, all of our partners have great websites full of information. That's how you know that they're good partners. They are Gavita International on Instagram and at Gavita North America for our North American counterparts and listeners. I think we've got a couple more, Basil.
SANlight.
SANlight.com. Very nice website again. Very important to go and check out their website, SANlight.com, because it will show you how high to hang LED lights, the angle of the spread of the light, the different optics that they use, the chips that they use, how best to use LEDs, which is very important for people that are switching to LEDs. And their Instagrams are at SANlight_LED and at SANlight UK and at SANlight US.
Come on.
So they've got all different Instagrams for different parts of the world. And last but not by no means least,
there's no one else.
GardenCultureMagazine.com and at Garden Culture Magazine. You said there's no one else because we're talking about garden culture, but you still got to shout out the website, Barry.
He's getting too many shouts out, this Eric one.
I know. Got to show him the love, haven't we? We're not going to see him this year. We've been travel banned. Canada's COVID. What did you pray to the sky for then, Barry? I'm going to get him on a podcast soon so he can batter you. He can talk about the weather, the skiing. It's either really hot or really cold in Canada. There's no nice in between. But no, the new Garden Culture magazine is out. We are recording this on December. No, we're not.
Wow.
It is June.
Wow.
June the 10th, I think, June 11th. And the new Garden Culture magazine has just come out, so we'll be getting around to that one very soon as well. Right, let's get into the articles. Podcast 226, Broken Biscuits, part 1. What's the first?
I've just been looking, because I'm a little bit just arrive and drive, aren't I, Steve?
Yes, you are.
Steve does most of the work, to be fair, but I've just looked, and it's how to take clones organically.
Yeah.
That's, baffled me.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Why do you want to jump straight
Use
to that one?
a stick to take it or something. Sharpen a stick to cut it off.
Do you want to jump to taking that one organically?
Yeah, let's just go with that one, because I need to know a bit more about it. What you do?
Okay, let me. You've actually caught me out there. Let me skip to the page.
So you don't use no rooting gels, and
no, you
don't
do
cut
not.
it with a scalpel.
Yes, you do. You bite off with your teeth.
So the only thing organic then is whatever they're putting on just to help. Yeah. Spit.
Yeah, spit. People can use spit.
So is that it then?
No.
That's that thing that's done.
So this article is written by Cody J. Garrett, The Ins and Outs of Organic Cloning. So what he's saying is, if you're an organic gardener, most people will be using Clonex which is the world's number one hormone gel for taking cuttings. But it has synthetic IAA, which is naphthalene acetic acid. It has IBA, which is indole 3-butyric acid, or a combination of both. It helps with root proliferation and callus development, which is the hard knuckle that you can get. But they are synthetic and actually quite dangerous as well.
So I could do this one dead quick, and no offence to Cody J. Garrett, but to do it organically, just cut out a root hormone.
Yeah, but what do you use instead?
Spit. Don't use anything.
Well, spit's
still
one of those.
You're still using
things
Rockwell, Jiffy.
Yeah.
You're still using a metal scalpel to cut it, or scissors, or whatever you use. So it's not really how to take clones organic. I'm going to be a little bit brutal.
Ooh.
I am.
Ooh.
It's I
like it.
How to take clones organically.
Yeah.
It's all you're doing is just, you're not using Clonex, mate. Plain Jane, let's just have it right.
Don't use Clonex.
Don't use Clonex and don't use nothing. It'll still root. It's just that Clonex makes it root better, quicker. But you still can, with the right humidity and your prop and the right light, it still will take it. Just could take an extra day or two.
Yeah.
So
the spit thing is like one of those emergency box things, isn't it? It's like if you
Clonex.
No, you said spit. People can do it, and it helps seal off the wound at the end as you cut it, and it's got enzymes in there which can help with the root development. But he says if you want to go, if you can go full organic, he just doesn't want to use synthetically derived ingredients.
Let's have it right. And I'm not knocking the kid, but do you know if you use, so say you just wanted organic veg?
Yeah.
How long does a tomato take from a clone to fully fruited? What would you say?
Indoors, depends on the variant.
It's
16 weeks.
Yeah,
20 weeks.
I'm not too sure off the top of my head. I put you on the spot a bit there, but if you use Clonex, do you think if you tested the tummy at the end of it, it would show signs of Clonex in it?
No, to be honest,
that's what I mean. It's a bit like,
how far are you going to go with this?
How far are you going to go with that? See, I'd have more of a problem cutting it with a metal scalpel.
Ow.
I'd sharpen the edge of a lettuce to cut it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that article to me is like proper extreme.
Hang on. Let's get into how you'd sharpen the edge of a lettuce.
Know.
What, do we let it go stale?
But
stale lettuce goes floppy.
You're talking about, I don't know. How many, let's have a look at the book a minute. How's he done a full page on how to take clones? Or, it's not 2 pages.
It's 2 pages.
How can you write
2 pages? Yeah, 2 pages.
How can you write 2 pages on how to take clones organically?
I'm going to tell you.
Cut it with the scalpel, put it in the prop, and don't put nothing on it.
No.
That's like that's 100% organic, mate. There's nothing on this air that's more organic than that.
Well,
from an organic plant, taking a cutting with absolutely nothing on it and putting it in the prop. There's nothing more.
You're going to
If
have
you
less
put-
chance of success, though, aren't you?
Yeah, but take a couple more.
One of the options is true.
Everyone does that. Don't tell me that if someone wants 10 tomato plants, they don't take 15.
I think they should double.
Well, double then.
I think if you want 10, take 20.
I just don't know. And
One of the
I
first
praise the
things-
kid that he's got that much information on it.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm going to be dead honest. I am.
Well-
Like a bit of a boring article, that.
Well,
Because if someone said to me, how do you take organic clones? I'd say, don't use Clonix. That's it, done.
yeah, it
That's
is.
done. Nutshell, there it is, done.
Well, so
and it's all right to say the
it's hard-
success rate.
It's hard because I agree
Clonix
with you.
hasn't been round since we started clones, has it?
No,
So they must have done it without Clonix.
they must have done well.
And all them plants are still
Do you know
here.
they did it years ago? Willow tree.
Willow tree sap or something.
Yeah. So
they-
that's one of the first things he says is the use of silica compounds useful in aid natural reproliferation.
and can you buy that?
Yet named after the salix willow tree, which is high in salicin. These natural substances are found in many tree species, or aloe vera contains a lot of salicylic acid. Horticultural aloe-based products work very well. Willow water, commonly used in nurseries.
I know, but Steve, if
I
I
agree
give
with
you
you.
a tomato plant
It's
now,
a tough one because I
and
agree
you
with
needed 10 cuttings off it, and you took 20, would you have 100% confidence that 10 of them are going to come through?
Yeah.
So I understand what he's saying. He's telling you everything you can use that's organic on this world to help increase the chance of a rooting plant. But to me, lad, that in a nutshell is just don't use Clonix.
It is.
And that's it, you're done. And I think even if you did use Clonix, I don't think...
Well, I said Clonix.
I think if you tested that tomato at the very end of it, I don't think you'd see any reminiscence of anything synthetic related or whatever's in Clonix. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think you would either.
I'll be dead honest, I'm not the cleverest kid in the world. I couldn't, when you started reading about what was in Clonix then, I don't delve into it that much. I just know Clonix, a hormone that helps your plant root.
Yeah.
I don't delve into everything because it's just, leave that to you. Do you know what I mean? But
no, I agree.
So-
what is the benefit of
if you said
not
to me now,
using
like,
Clonix?
write 2 full pages on how to take clones organically, I'd just start laughing at you and say, no, I beat it in one.
No,
I'll do it in one line.
You'd Bart
Don't
Simpson it.
use Clonix. Yeah,
You'd Bart
that's
Simpson
what
on
I
the
do.
chalkboard.
Yeah, don't use Clonix. Don't use Clonix. And it's great the way that, like, I'm not knocking the kid, but it's great the way, like, he told you all the other things you can use. But I think you could use your time more wisely than running around the country trying to find aloe vera or trying to take sap out of a tree or and you don't know whether that tree, when it was a cut and had Clonix used on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just don't use anything. If you do want to go down the line of 100% organic, see, I'm into it now, man. If you do want to go down the line of 100% organic, then like,
Well, let's
don't use Clonix.
let's debate it then. Okay, so the definite, like, again, it's more
if
definitions.
you're
of
telling me now
organic.
that,
So what is this organic? You take your cutting
yeah,
with the scalpel, and you don't use anything.
Yeah.
Take it at the 45-degree angle. You do everything perfectly.
Yeah.
You put it into an extreme propagator. They're the ones sold by Nutriculture. Sprays up the water, and you get this one. In my opinion, it's the best method.
are you putting anything in the water?
No, just water.
Then I'd say it was still organic.
Yeah, even though we're
'Cause it
using
has-
a human-made plastic, we're using plastics.
Yeah,
We're
but you've
using
cut
electricity.
You've cut it with a knife.
So you've used your teeth.
Yeah.
Do you mean like it's like what? Where do you
Where'd
stop?
you stop? Yeah,
Yeah.
where'd you stop?
Nutriculture
And
use
then-
plastics.
Then
You also use electricity to power
9
the pumps.
times out of 10 people will then put it in a plastic pot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And maybe
It's like-
even into cocoa peat. There's a big thing about cocoa peat.
Yeah, the
Gonna
garden
become-
centres don't sell it no more.
Yeah. Is it
It doesn't-
illegal
It's not.
in a few years to sell it?
Yeah. Isn't it something to do? And like I say, I'm not the cleverest kid in the world, but isn't it something to do with it doesn't renew like
Quickly.
soil renews?
It's like oil.
yeah.
Well, yeah, soil renews if left alone and
Yeah,
decay and matter
yeah,
goes into
yeah,
it can
yeah.
renew.
It can renew itself, sort
Or
of.
peat bogs take millions of years to become peat bogs, and
And then
we'll
just-
be dead by the time
I
they
think
get to renew.
I can, if if Cody would have rang me, they said, lad, don't worry about it. Lad, just put it at the top of the page. Don't use Clonix.
Don't use any synthetic hormone.
They've been done.
We're picking on Clonix now. It's just the best.
No, we're not picking on Clonix.
No, I mean, it's just saying Clonix is the
and
best.
And to be honest, I'd love to see him write the other article that said, oh, no, I grew my tomatoes for 16 weeks.
Yeah.
And I had them tested and the Clonix was still in there. Then I would be like, fuck me, man.
Yeah.
But I just can't see that. No
chance. It's like, ever think about it. If you are growing with if you're taking this article and you've hit you and you think, oh yeah, I'm going to start taking clones organically, but then you're putting into a heated propagator, which is electric, or you put which is plastic and electric, or you're putting into an extreme propagator, which is, in my opinion, the best method to get your ruttons, your rootings, your cuttings to root. Then that's plastic, 2 layers of plastic and electricity for the pumps to work. It's that's not really organic. That's using non-renewable resources, isn't it?
It's just
use Clonix.
It's just, to me, I'll be dead honest, lad. And it's in garden culture and it's in there for a reason, because he's given good information on other products to use.
Some people will want to do it that way. They'll go like deep.
If it was me, like he's saying use aloe vera, that's growing like in mass, isn't it? That sort of stuff, because it goes in. But you're telling me that it's growing in mass, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aloe vera, because it's in all kinds of products, isn't it? In like sun creams and all stuff for your hair and all shit like that, and creams and all that. But if they're growing it en masse, are they now using the rooting hormone when they take their cuttings, if they take cuttings, or if it grows?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is that like, you're missing out Clonix and buying aloe vera that's already had something put into it? You know what I mean? Has the aloe vera been fed synthetic feeds?
Mm-hmm.
Has it?
You don't know,
Does he say?
Nope.
No. So the best thing to do.
The willow tree. What chemical fertilizer, what chemical pesticides have been used outside?
That tree's now took on.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the easiest way to do it is, Eric should have phoned me, man, weirded me up out of it, that article, and said, just don't use Clonix. Yeah. You're not getting no more organic.
Yeah.
Because if you've grew your tomato and that's been organic, when you take the cutting off that tomato and you don't use nothing, and you put it in soil, and you put it on the windowsill, and you put the pint glass over it, that's organic.
That's it, your nature. You know what I'd do? I would, I don't know what, you know what I've tried in the past is just rolling it in some beneficial bacteria. Taking Azos, rolling it in some...
Azos actually tell you now, it was in a garden culture magazine, to make a paste. With the Azos, a little bit of water, a bit of Azos, make a paste and roll it up.
That'd be your best method.
I know it's beneficial for organic, but I think even better than that, just don't use anything. Let's move on now, come on. Just don't use nothing like that. That's like, to me, though, Steve, that is a bit of I'm going to be dead honest, I am. Bit of a pointless article. I understand he's telling you all the other products you can use, but he can't really say that because he doesn't know where them other products have come from.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I agree. I do.
And it'd take a long time if you want, if you were proper and organic, I'm organic, and all that, then how do you know where that willow tree's cuttings, like mothers come from? That 4 trees down, it had fucking Clonix, pesticides and everything all over it.
By the way, that's the international sign of an organic grower. They walk around going, to everyone. That's how you can spot an organic grower.
Do you know what I mean, though? It's like, I should have done a Bart Simpson, don't use Clonix. But even then, I'd love to see, and I could be wrong, lad, I'm not saying to anyone or Cody himself that I'm right, but I just don't think by using Clonix,
it has that much of an impact.
It has that much of an impact where at the end you've ate it and you're like, oh, fuck me, man, I'm not organic no more, fuck it. Yeah. I just can't see it.
Oh, I agree.
Can't see it.
On the topic of propagating, we've said it in the past before, if you do use those things such as aeroponic propagators, do not use any type of root stem, do not use any type of salt-based nutrient, because just use water. We did a test at the university. We did 12 propagators using 24 cuttings of rosemary. 11. The water was supposed to be the water, and the propagator was meant to be the, what do they call it? The baseline to see where everything was improved of. The water out, like absolutely battered by far for the root stems. So just use water. It's much better than adding root stem in and adding this. And you can foliar feed, like Cody just said, use a bit of foliar feed with kelp and that, and that helps feed the cuttings while it's
So put root
establishing
stem
its
in the
roots.
extreme prop.
Do not put root stem in the prop.
But people have done it.
Yeah, people
But
do
there's no
do
roots
it.
there.
I know. But they think as soon as the roots appear, there's root stem. But actually, because it's salt-based, salt will try and draw water out of the plant, which is the exact opposite of what you're trying to do. Just a little top tip there. But guess what's everywhere?
Air.
Yes, yeah. Air is everywhere. Guess what else is everywhere?
Air.
Water. Water. H2O. They're good old quality H2O.
So look, bought a boy.
Yeah.
Where are we up to?
Water everywhere by Nico Hill. Nico works at CANNA.
We had a little conversation about water the other day, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
I think it's all a big conspiracy.
No, you don't.
No, I mean like the conspiracy theorists are making conspiracies up. I don't think there's anything.
So before we get into the article, there's a lot of our customers and people think that fluoride in the water calcifies or fluoridates the pineal gland, which is your gland to the
third dimension.
The third dimensions. Now, we're not taking the piss. We're not.
I'm going to. Trust me, I'm going to. I can't.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, I'm entitled to mine.
And after I'd heard it a good few times, I thought, you know what? Water everywhere, written by Nico, doesn't mention fluoride or the pineal gland, just to make that it. This is where I've gone off on a tangent. It's about the quality of your water. So I've heard people saying, yeah, they put fluoride in your tap water.
But it's true that they do it in some parts of the world.
So, yeah, that's where I thought, you know what? Enough people are saying this. Let's look at what I think are the facts. And some people say, oh, the facts written by the government. But where else do you get your fucking facts from? Fucking John down the fucking corner with a fucking crystal on his head.
I just think, like, do they put fluoride in the water?
In top stuff water, they don't.
But it derives.
Naturally, there's naturally occurring fluoride in top stuff water.
So, do you know when they add it? Why did they add it? What's the reason?
I didn't get that far.
Well, it's going to be for some sort of reason of cleaning the water, and is it pathogens or something like that?
Engineer, Google that for me. Why did they add fluoride into water? Do some Googling. And then send me a WhatsApp with what you think.
But I've heard that they know everyone's onto it, so now they're putting it in the toothpaste.
Yeah, because fluoride is good for your teeth.
And you don't swallow it, so it doesn't go into your bloodstream. And what's it called? Your pineal glands or something? What's it called?
Pineal gland. It's at the back of the brain.
So if you brush your teeth with Evian water, which has got no fluoride in it, and you brush your teeth and you don't swallow any toothpaste or any of the water, it can't harm you anyway. No, can't. Well, it can't get into your bloodstream to get to you.
So the reason that this has come about is that in studies where there's been a toxic buildup of fluoride in water, it does, calcify the pineal gland. It does do that. It coats it and stops it from working as efficiently as it should do. The pineal gland regulates your sleep-wake cycle, regulates your mood through melatonin, and is used for a lot of other things that I didn't get into. If you are in an area with a lot of fluoride and a lot of calcium, it can calcify that gland and prevent it from working. So it can stop people from sleeping as well. You can irregulate your mood, so it can maybe lead to depression. But this is in like really like toxic levels of fluoride.
Yeah, but I don't know that many people no more who drink tap water.
I do.
I don't. Yeah. Don't get me. I drink it. Doesn't bother me.
You know, if I'm like feeling low on water, it's like straight to the tap. Glass of water.
But you find a lot of people do drink bottled water.
Yeah.
And for that to like calcify your brain or whatever it does, then you'd have to be drinking well over the daily recommended limit, which would drown you anyway.
Yeah.
So before your fucking glands in your head would get coated with calcium, you'd probably die.
From over drinking
water, is that right?
Yeah, so it depends. Like in the UK, I haven't looked at every water board, but I've deleted it now. But all you do is you go to Google and you say, what is my water quality? You Google
But Google's run by the government.
We'll go to DuckDuckGo then.
DuckDuckGo is run by the government to convince you that it's not.
Is it? You can't,
Because everyone's onto that, the government runs Google. They made another one called DuckDuckGo to convince everyone that this one's not.
Yeah.
I just think, I do believe in some conspiracies. I do.
I think...
But I just think they put fluoride in the water to damage us and suppress us and to keep us from having our third world dimension view so we can see the real world. That's a conspiracy that's going back hundreds of years and still happening now. You know what I mean? It's too much of a conspiracy.
Yeah. So
if you ask me about like 9/11 and shit like that,
that's real.
There's bits in it, mate, where you think, whoa,
I can't explain that.
Can't explain that.
Yeah.
And it's happened now.
Yeah.
It's not a continuous fucking, it hasn't happened fucking 2,000 years ago and it's still someone's dad saying to the son, lad, you're going to take over the United Utilities, just make sure you keep putting them drums in there because the government, see that fucking payment in the bank, that's off fucking the government there, and just keep putting that in, lads. You just drink heavy on dickhead. You know what I mean? Keep putting that in the water, suppress them. It's too big of a conspiracy for me.
Well, look, you know what I do like to, like, I do like to talk to people because it's not, I don't want to come across, and especially when I'm talking to people, as though holier than thou and I know everything because I am interested in science, so I know better than you. I don't. I just know what I know, and it's backed up by what I believe to be facts.
I don't know, but I just look at the bigger picture and think there's no way you could keep a conspiracy like that under wraps.
Yeah.
Not a hope in hell.
So your water quality, if you go to Google or DuckDuckGo, wherever you want to go, what's in my water, you go to unitedutilities.com and click on water quality, United Utilities. You'll scroll down and you'll type in your postcode to where it says check your water quality. I put our postcode in, L8, and it tells you the water source, where it's coming from, the quality, and the quality control. So our typical water hardness is moderately soft. The hardness Clark is 4.83. It's updated on the 4th of the 6th. It supplies toxic, and we've got a water supply zone of Z184. So you go to the full summary, and it will tell you everything that's in your water. Alkalinity, aluminium, benzene, arsenic, boron, bromate, cadmium, calcium, chloride, chromium, copper, cyanide.
Cyanide, though, but
cyanide's
it's
in the water.
in there naturally, isn't it?
Cyanide's in there naturally, yes, it's not added.
That's what I mean. It's
cyanide's in apple seeds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now, I've heard people take apple seeds to cure cancer because of the cyanide.
I've heard that as well, yeah.
But some people will tell you that, no, that's added in there, mate, to suppress you and to kill you off early.
Yeah. Because
back in fucking them days, we lived till we was 200, and now they're killing us quicker and suppressing us.
Yeah.
It's just a bit mad.
What's that? What's the engineer said? It's a waste product of the metal industry, he believes. It's hard to dispose of, and in water is a good way. There are two kinds of fluoride. One is good for your teeth and bones, and the other is toxic. They also think there's something to do with sterilisation. Wolverhampton Severn Trent is really high in fluoride. It's also found naturally, as it's a mineral, so depending on the area, the higher the levels. And he's sent me at nhs.uk/conditions/fluoride. Scroll down to community water fluoridization. So, okay, let's do this.
So, to get rid of the waste of it from wherever they use it, they just put it in the water, which is a bit bad.
Yeah.
But
community
at them level,
water fluoridation. Most water, this is off the NHS website. Most water supplies contained some fluoride. In the early 20th century, levels of tooth decay were found to be associated with fluoride levels in drinking water. This led to the introduction of schemes to add fluoride to water supplies to improve dental health. Community water fluoridation schemes have operated for more than 70 years. The first scheme was introduced in the US in 1945. The first substantive UK scheme was in Birmingham in 1964. Probably explains why all of our Brummy pals are so slow and walk a half speed.
Suppressed.
Fluoridated, mate.
Yeah,
Fluoridated. Yeah. 5.8 million people in England receive fluoridated water. This means fluoride has been added to bring it up to about 1 milligram of fluoride per litre of water, which is a level found to reduce tooth decay levels. The decision whether to add fluoride to the water supply is made by individual local authorities. Areas where water fluoridation schemes are currently in places, the north, east, northwest, pretty much fucking everywhere. And blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, you can go and do your own research. Talk stuff. No wonder we're so smart. There's no fluoride.
That's why
in the
we're
water,
quick, man.
Everyone's walking around in the third dimension in talk stuff, like,
Yeah.
ooh.
The third eye.
But yeah, interesting topic. What are your thoughts? Message us on our Instagram. We are at NPK Podcast. Yes, that's where we are. NPK Podcast on Instagram. Message us. Tell us your thoughts. Are you a fluoride freak or are you a fluoride fellow believer? Yeah.
Freak was a bit heavy, really.
There's the first word that came to my head with an F. Fluoride freak. Fluoride fanatic. There you go. There's another triple F, double F. So, what has Nico actually written? No, because he don't think he mentioned fluoride at all. This is now back on growing. So, water quality for your plants, background EC levels, background pH levels. What is your water out of your tap? So, the background mineral content, these are minerals that contribute to the overall EC reading, be varied in their makeup. The minerals should really be made up of calcium and magnesium, which is good. Sodium and chloride is bad. So that's why high EC levels in hard water can potentially be bad, because if it's mostly sodium chloride, they don't provide much of a benefit to the plant. So it just provides too much salts and can burn the plant. Calcium and magnesium are actually used by the plant, so they're much better. Bicarbonates, the levels present in water influence the pH. So if you've got no bicarbonates, your pH goes up and down. RO water, very soft water. That's why some nutrient companies make hard water nutrients, because they have to put a shitload of pH down or make it really acidic so that they can take your pH out the tap, which is around 6.8 to 7.2, and drop it to a good point around 5.8. They have to add loads of acid to combat all the extra calcium, extra magnesium that stops your pH from going up or down. There's a reaction with the acid. So bicarbonates react with acid and water, temporarily become carbonic acid before turning into water and carbon dioxide. So it goes acid, which comes from your base nutrients, plus the bicarbonates from the water go to carbonic acid, and then that becomes water and carbon dioxide. So by turning acid into water and carbon dioxide, the pH doesn't drop too low, remains stable. The types of water that you've got. So the type of water that comes out your tap depends on where you live. What have we got? What have we got? I noticed you dropping off there.
We've got, isn't that about 7.2?
That's the pH.
Yeah.
Are we hard or soft?
Soft.
You're always soft.
Always soft.
You've got extreme soft water.
What happens, engineer, is he goes into deep science. If you see me nodding off, can't he whisper in my ear, wake up, mate? He goes into like this big realm of science, and I fall asleep then.
You know what we need?
Good. It's good. I like it because you get little naps.
Do you know what we need? Can you speak to us without it coming out on the podcast? Yeah. And can you speak to us where it comes through on the podcast? Okay, we're gonna get the engineer a mic. Yeah. All right, in the next few weeks and months. Get your little mic.
Come wake me up.
Basil! And he'll just say,
it's good. Ah! The people love listening to you.
Barry just doesn't. He gets this all day in work, you see.
I'm not science.
We know. Extreme soft water, EC of less than 0.1, very low mineral level, very low bicarbonate level. What does this mean, or what's the problems? Big swings in your pH, either when you add your nutrients or over time as your reservoir deals with the lack of bicarbonates and the reactions that are going on, your pH can go mostly up. Mineral deficiencies, very low start level of essential minerals such as calcium, magnesium, and especially bad if you combine it with a high humidity or low air movement. Soft water, EC of between 0.1 to 0.4. You have a low mineral level and a low bicarbonate level. You have slightly less pH fluctuations, same as extreme soft, but a little bit less. Again, minor deficiencies, similar to extreme, but not quite as harsh. Then you've got normal water, which is an EC of between 0.4 and 0.5. Most nutrients formulated with this type of water in mind, excluding the soft, hard versions. The expected mineral levels, mostly calcium, magnesium, and expected bicarbonate level, meaning a good, stable pH. Minimal problems if you've got this type of water. Then you move on to hard water, which is an EC over 0.5, high bicarbonate level, very high mineral level, mostly magnesium and calcium. Your pH is continually rising because the bicarbonates react over time, raising the pH in your reservoir, the pipelines, or the substrate, which can eventually lead to a deficiency. Your mineral imbalances caused by the elements being at the wrong ratios. So calcium, we've said in the past, is a big monster truck of a mineral ion, and will block, if it's too much of it, we just won't let any others through the plant vascular system and or the root system, and you get nutrient imbalances. Then you've got bad hard, which is anything again over 0.55, very high bicarbonate levels, but the wrong minerals, mostly sodium and chloride. So your pH is continually rising, and because you've got a lack of calcium and magnesium, you've got more sodium and chloride, then you'll just burn your plant, and you can't get anything into the plant.
What areas have got that?
Bad hard, I'd have to research.
Isn't it like London and that?
London.
So,
certain areas of Birmingham, Wolverhampton.
And most of them people are using our own machines, aren't they?
So this is where it gets interesting. This is where I learned something from this article. You go back and sleep, Barry, because you can continue having your problems. You know, if you ever go to London and you're asked to grow some tomatoes,
organic clones.
then you won't have a clue what to do because you're not listening.
I will.
So what to do?
Take you with me.
To get back to normal water, what I always recommended is anything over an EC of 0.6, just RO your water and add a little bit of CalMag to it. But it's a bit of an investment to get an RO machine. Off the top of my head, two of my favourite RO machines, Hydrologic, been around for a long time. Used it, we've done videos on it, fantastic company. Recently, we've had to play with Nutriculture's Aura reverse osmosis machine. Looks really nice, comes with loads of filters, interchangeable, very nice RO machine. So there's two options for you if you want to go RO. Or recently been working with CANNA, talking about water quality. If you've got an EC of 0.6, you can still get an RO machine, but instead of completely using RO, which takes a lot of time, you just take a bit of that RO and add it to your hard water, so it brings down the EC level. So you just dilute your hard water. So if people are thinking, I've got to do 200, 400, 750, 1,000 litres of water, it's going to take forever, or I'm going to have to buy the extra pump, I'm going to have to wait here for ages for the tank to be filled up. Just do 3/4 normal water, 1/4 RO water, and that'll bring it down.
And just check your levels.
And that's it. Just check your levels. You should use an RO machine if you've got very high levels of sodium or chloride. So this is where checking your water comes in useful. Go onto the water board, United Utilities, see what your water's like. Buy kits offline to test for sodium, chloride, and bicarbonates. Well water, rainwater, if people use them, it's good to use an RO machine. And then use a CalMag product to raise it up to about 0.4, which gives you a very good, typical bicarbonate level and a good mineral level. So you've got your high quality H2O, and then you just keep testing, and then test again. And that's how you get good quality water. That's how you get some good quality H2O.
All of that, Stephen, lad.
What do you think about that?
That was good. Liked it.
Let your face know. What next? What would you like to talk about next? We've done Nico's water everywhere, and then we went off on a tangent with fluoride. Message us if you agree or disagree.
Medicinal berries.
Ooh, Medicinal Berries by Caroline Rivard.
Excuse me.
These are great because when you go for a walk...
I thought you were going to say, then these are grape.
Very good, Barry.
You're not as quick as
He's
me.
woke up, hasn't he? Hey, here we go. medicinal berries, not just a sweet treat. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
You sure?
Tickly throat.
Tickly
Hay
throat.
fever, you know, and it gets me it gets me eyes, my nose, and the roof of my palate.
Do you know what hay fever is?
Pollen.
Yeah. And do you know what pollen is?
Out of plants.
Yeah. And what is technically is pollen? Sperm, isn't it? Plant sperm. So technically, the plant's raping your face right now.
The plant's like jizzed all over my face.
Did you ask? Did you ask for the plant to?
No.
Did you ask to breathe in the plant's sperm?
That's
No.
fucking rape.
So the
I'm
plants
going to take them lilies in the house on the table.
take them to court
and say, listen, that cunt has fucking
raped my face.
fucking knocked one out in front of me and threw it at me. Cheeky bastard.
Oh, raped by plants everywhere we go.
I've got a grass allergy, so it's fucking millions to take to court, that, isn't it?
There you go. Little
Thanks, Steve.
pollen joke.
Man.
Little pollen joke.
I feel dirty now.
I know you do. Abused.
That's all the time. I piss behind trees, isn't it? When I was a kid and all that.
They're getting
Pissing
their
in the
own back.
bushes, they're like that. Yeah, come watch what we do to you then.
Yeah. So medicinal raspberries, you find these everywhere, don't
I
you?
like these.
Along the woodlands.
These have got to be organic.
Oh, these are the most organic.
When it says medicinal berries, does it just mean like
good
berries that are just good for you?
Well, no, there's actually some good shit to them, but I say,
But don't we know that anyway?
You've actually put me off eating any raspberries ever again.
But
I'm just, because all I think about is Barry pissing behind bushes, thinking, I wonder if he pissed on these raspberries. I wondered why they were a bit tangy.
Medicinal berries.
Yeah, okay, so do you want to get into it? They're good for you. Anything you eat.
Lad, anything you eat, like, that's like fruit and veg, that's
but it's not medicinal, it's just good for you. All fruit and veg is good for you, but it's not technically medicinal.
Enlighten me then.
I'm going to.
Go on, do it.
So, medicinal, well, it's not me enlightening you, it's Caroline Rivard. She's enlightening all of us.
Come on then, Caroline.
So, food that grows in the wild is rich in nutrients, tends to be more flavourful than what you'd expect from the supermarkets. Wild raspberries, no exception, very high in vitamin C, minerals and fibre. The nutritious berries help boost the immune system, nourish the blood, protect against heart disease and various cancers, thanks to antioxidants, phenolic acids and anthocyanins. We know this. It's all well and good, same as most fruit and veg. However, dried leaves picked from the flowers before bloom are delicious when made as a tea. So the high tannin levels makes it very similar to normal tea, the black tea, but without any caffeine. A wild raspberry infusion contains many vitamins and minerals, and the concoction can help build healthy bones and teeth and can be taken after an illness to help with recovery. To make the tea, use 2 tablespoons of dried herb and steep in a cup of hot water for 10 to 15 minutes. Add a natural sweetener like honey or maple syrup if you need that sweet taste, and drink away. Now, the raspberry leaves are astringent and anti-inflammatory, so the 2 herbal actions can slow diarrhea, tighten mucosal tissue in leaky gut syndrome, that's lovely, or general intestinal inflammation. The astringency helps heal wounds and sore eyes. Eye drops can be made from a cooled, filtered decoction of raspberry leaves and has been used as a treatment for conjunctivitis. A mouthwash from the tea will help with bleeding, gums, mouth sores, and mouth inflammation. And it's a woman's best friend because it's been used to help ease menstrual pain. And the infusion can help increase a mother's milk, relieve nausea. High iron content prepares the body for blood loss and childbirth. Despite being safe to pregnant women, wait until the 2nd or 3rd trimesters before drinking a wild raspberry tea. There's some concern that the drink may stimulate the uterus and potentially cause a miscarriage. So nature's provides the healing and also provides some dangerous shit as well, doesn't it? So,
listen, mate, here's what it is.
Yeah, I would consult a doctor reading that bit. I'd consult a doctor.
And the doctor will say,
fucking stay away from that.
He won't. He'll turn around and say, fuck all that, mate. Here's a prescription for drugs that we all make money on. Yeah. That's what he'll say.
And that is a conspiracy I can get behind.
Yep.
Because I'm not going to go into... Actually, you know what? Engineer, write that down as a podcast subject for me. Pharmacopoeia or pharmaceuticals versus Mother Nature, because there's 2 good arguments.
I'm telling you now, Mother Nature will win, hands down. Without Mother Nature, no one would be here.
That's very true. And we're not going to get into...
That's just in food-wise.
We're not going to get into the discussion because I think I can balance the argument quite well. I think pharmaceuticals make a lot of money, and there's some disgusting videos of people who own pharmacies out there.
There's some good
Pharmaceuticals
stuff as well, though.
There is. Your hay fever tablets. How are you going to... A natural version is to buy the honey.
I am. I'm trying.
You are?
It takes 2 to 3 weeks before the fucking local one near me harvests his first fucking season, so I'm fucked.
Yeah, so
taking prescription
that's
shit.
a good natural cure for hay fever.
It's
local honey.
The best local honey.
Because they pollinate in your area. And it's like a bee vaccine, isn't it, against pollen. So the bees are actually like your knights in shining armour, stopping you from getting raped by the plants.
They're everyone's knights in shining armour.
They are. Protect the bees. Protect the bees.
Without the bees, we wouldn't be here, mate.
Yeah. Engineer, that's a good podcast topic, that pharmaceuticals versus Mother Nature.
Put next to Barry thought of that. Just put that next to it.
And that's one where I can go to sleep and Barry can talk.
I will.
So
I want to get some what are they called?
Conspiracy theories on here. Conspiracy theorists.
I've got someone who I'm going to bring on though.
Give me his initials or her initials.
He was with us the other day. He's probably listening to this right now.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the stuff's all right that they say, but then I just don't believe in like a lot of it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know what gets me is like, are we going to go on about it now or should we leave it?
About which?
Conspiracy theorists.
No, we'll get them on, but we've got to make it relevant to growing as well, haven't we?
No, I think the listeners would be all right.
We need to do if you don't want to hear this shit, that's not really that relevant to growing. But you know why we talk about it? Because the people that come into our shop that love growing, they all seem to talk about the stuff that we talk about: conspiracies, pharmaceuticals.
Because they're all like organic to the world.
They all like growing their own plants. So I suppose we do get a very certain type of.
You know what makes me laugh is like, I said it to you the other day, didn't I? Is like jokes. No, what makes me laugh is like.
I was down to keep a straight face there and wind them up, but I couldn't help it.
Nah, that was it. Go on. What's next?
What makes me laugh?
No,
jokes. Funny, Barry.
Some medicinal berries, anyway.
We're done with medicinal berries.
Oh, yeah. What's next?
Yeah. Don't piss on the berries when you walk past them because Barry might eat them. Or the plants will face rape you with pollen and hay fever.
What's this one? And Gibson, growing plants indoors.
Oh.
Isn't that what we talk about every day?
Yeah,
Isn't that what we talk about on every podcast?
The health benefits of growing plants indoors.
What we know what the health benefits are.
What are the health benefits,
Health
Barry?
benefits are is that the crop's not going to die because we can't predict the weather. We can't predict storms, floods and everything. So we guaranteed our fruit and veg.
You've taken this the wrong way.
Do you know what I mean?
You've taken it. Not the wrong way. That is your perspective of that title. The health benefits of growing plants indoors. So not the health of the plants, the health to you.
The health to me.
Yeah.
Come on then, enlighten me.
I'm about to. VOCs, volatile organic compounds from paint. You know that new car smell that you get?
Yeah.
That's VOCs.
Yeah.
When you paint your house. Actually, genuinely,
this is
me and Barry just going to have a general chit-chat now, like we would do if we were on podcast.
I know all about it.
Do you?
I know bits about it.
So I reckon, you know the way you say your nose is always on fire? I reckon that's because in the last 3 years, you've demolished a house, built a house, painted it, varnished it. You've basically got that new car smell in your house. Imagine all them VOCs that are in your house.
Yeah, I know that, but like...
And what she's saying is it has an impact. It reduces
Are you sure it's
your
not
health.
just all the fucking fumes outside?
It's actually
From
better.
every diesel wagon that drives past me.
It's actually better outside.
Every morning.
It's actually, the air outside is better than
I'm
indoor air.
driving the big diesel.
Yeah,
so
but the outdoor air is better than the indoor
I
air.
reckon the kid who's growing organic pedals a bike.
No. He may do it at times, but he definitely drives. Doesn't he?
It's mad, isn't it?
It is mad.
It's mad.
You know, I had a lecturer in uni, and he was.
I want to see him with hemp sandals on.
He was the best.
In his neck with the leaf on.
You want to see somebody?
Yeah, I want to see full
with hemp sandals on in the neck.
I want to see full organic hemp clothes.
Hang on.
Let's
go backtrack a sec. You want to see somebody in hemp sandals in the knack with like just a leaf over them. That's like your passion, is it?
3 leaves. 3 leaves.
3 leaves.
3 leaves, you get me?
Where
Not
does-
just 1 leaf.
Yeah.
3 leaves.
You'd
only need a little leaf. You could be stick, man.
I'd need, what would I need? Trying to think of a big leaf.
You'd have to put a string through a grape and tie it around his waist. He'd be all right then.
What would I use? Big leaf.
Shut up, lad.
Can't think of any fucking big leaves either. Listen, indoor health quality of grown plants indoors, but not
mentally. I think it's great.
Mentally, definitely
keeps you occupied.
Like, we love having plants in the office. That's a guarantee. Just makes you feel better. Air quality. Some people say plants produce oxygen. They take in CO2. Have a plant in the corner, and wow, the oxygen, the CO2 levels are going to go through the roof. If you actually research it, the amount of plants that you need in your room to make any...
I have loads of plants in my house, but I don't have them for that reason. I have them just because they're like it looks good.
It does look good. Looks alive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the amount of plants that you need to actually make an impact on your oxygen and your CO2 levels is a shitload. Yeah. More than you would want to put in your house. So what they're saying is houseplants can take in these VOCs and hold on to them. Yeah. So reduce the amounts that are in your room. And obviously VOCs are not good for you.
VOC-free paint now, though.
Can you?
Yeah.
That's good. Didn't know about that.
Do you ever remember?
Is it more expensive?
Like, don't know whether the engineers got kids, we have, but like if you were having a baby, you'd paint the room months before the baby even was born and go in it. Because of that reason. But I think now they have all VOC paints. Don't get me wrong, even if it was VOC and I bought it to paint a nursery,
still do it.
I'd still do it fucking
just
weeks
out
before.
of habit, yeah.
Well, some, but you do that, and it's just like I'm like, I fucking don't know what's up with me.
I don't.
But like,
do you?
But like, no. You do that.
Do you listen?
And then 2 days later,
let me
you
know.
take the little newborns to your mum's house, don't you?
Yeah.
And you put them in the car.
Yeah.
And you get them out the car, and it's all the pollution around them. So it's like
I've said 5 times when you ignore me, outdoor air is actually better than indoor air because it's stale. You know, if you have all your windows closed and your doors closed and you have a family of 4 or 5 all in the living room, within, what does she say in this, within like an hour or 2, the CO2 levels can actually go to about 800 ppm. So normal outdoor CO2 ranges from 3 to 500. Indoors, the average is between 5 and 1500. It's actually got Sepinen 2006 to back her up on that one. Primarily from human respiration. Disturbingly, one study, which was Satish et al. 2012, revealed that rational thinking and reasoning ability reduced at 1,000 parts per million of CO2. Another study showed occupants could suffer from suffocation and tightness in the chest with exposure to CO2 levels at 800 ppm or higher. I think that's a little bit low myself. I think anything above 1,500 starts to become a big problem. But maybe consistent and continued exposure to 800 ppm is where it comes from, yeah. But 58% reduction in depression and dejection with houseplants in the house or the office space. 44% reduction in anger and hostility. Engineer, buy as many plants as you can for Barry's desk. Let's surround him when he's on the podcast.
What did that say?
44% reduction in anger and hostility.
Yeah.
So let's get Barry's desk like surrounded in plants.
I'm not angry.
38% reduction in fatigue. They can be used for everybody. 37% reduction in tension and anxiety. Get me some plants. I'm full of tension.
And we'll just put your office in the park.
Or is it just you always call me a tench?
Gudgeon.
Gudgeon, bottom feeder.
Yeah, he's a bottom feeder, He's a little gudgeon smuggler.
30% reduction in confusion. More reason to put them on Barry's desk. He's always confused. And a 4.5% increase in vigour. But he doesn't need any more vigour. He's not going to go there. So yeah, plants improve health and well-being. Remove VOCs, reduce CO2.
Didn't we?
Plants are good for you.
Didn't we know that?
We did know that, yeah.
No, we did know that anyway.
But this should sort of... The reason I've wanted to pick this up is because the shop, NPK, is now, from next week, selling houseplants on the website. And these houseplants are very specialist ones. You can't buy them in the shops. They are imported from Japan, propagated for 6 to 8 weeks, and they look gorgeous. The Japanese plants, very easy to keep, look lovely, and they'll be on sale from next week.
Yeah, man.
So they're on the website. What I'll do is we'll be posting on our Instagram. So if you want to follow the shop, you'll follow the shop, and it is on Instagram at NPK_horticulture. So follow that for our indoor houseplants. What would you like to read about next, Basil?
Castrated seeds.
Castrated seeds. This is
By
by
Callie
Callie
Seaman.
So,
Semen. Castrated.
Castrated Seeds by Dr. Callie Seaman explained. Granny
Yeah,
Smith.
it's funny that though, isn't it? Semen. Castrated. It's like, wow.
You know what? Like,
She's going to rate me, yeah.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
I think all of them are going to rate me, though. That Cody J. Garrett's going to fucking batter me when he gets me, mate.
The engineer will protect you, won't you? No, he won't. He hasn't seen how big Cody is. So I get on really well with Callie. And, you know...
He's got another one. Cody J. Garrett. Reviving old seeds organically.
Yeah. Actually, you'll probably have something to say about that as well. I've just remembered what the article's about, and I'm not so sure it's organic.
Oh, fucking hell. Come on.
So, Callie. I like Callie.
I like Callie Seaman.
I get on with her. And we would love to get her on the podcast when she's available. She's very busy. And what I do like about Callie, though, is she somehow, in most articles, she manages to put something quite adult humour in there. I don't know if she does it on purpose. I don't know if she realises she's doing it.
She's not just a realist.
She's always putting stuff in there, and I take a little screen, take a little camera of it and send it to her and go, "You've done it again. You've done it again."
It's just normal. It's normal people.
Yeah. It's your type of humour.
It's just normal.
It's normal for you.
No, what?
Barry's like giggling over there like a little schoolgirl.
Semen. Castrated.
Right.
Castrated semen.
Quite interesting this, but it's a bit of a short one. The 2 pages. So really, I'd like people to go and read this themselves, because for me to read this out, I'll just be reading from the page. So she talks about grafting, hybrids, feminized seeds, radiation, and terminator seeds. So if you're interested, read through it. But what they're saying is, the overview of the article is that nature produces a fruit, and what is the most natural thing is to produce a seed. When it falls to the ground, it then starts the whole process again, grows again. Yeah. But that's not profitable for companies who patent a certain apple, such as the Granny Smith apple.
Like an F1, what they've crossbred with another one, yeah.
Yeah, so if they grow all the apples and they give them out, people can just take the seeds out, grow the apple trees, and boom, Granny Smith apples. But actually, only 1 in 100. A Granny Smith apple seed has a 1 in 100 chance of making Granny Smith apples.
I bet you if you looked at it as well, we're probably having that mountain fucking vault thing.
Yeah.
But the way these seeds are today, strawberries, apples, all that, I bet you there's not many. It's hard to say because it is a big industry, but I bet you there's not many pure thoroughbred apple seed, the original apple seed. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think
because they've all been. Yeah, I think it's going to be. Isn't there like a big vault where if we have a natural disaster,
yeah, they store the seeds.
They store it. There's like fucking 100 million billion seeds in there of every variety of fruit and plant and everything.
Yeah, they store hundreds, and then once in a while, they'll go into that vault, open up the seeds, pop them, make sure that they're still viable, and then put them back out. Yeah, they just go in every. I think it's
and take a random few seeds
and just check that they're still viable. Yeah. So the engineer said, so you can't clone apple trees. You can only graft branches. Even the seeds will not produce the same apple. Is that like that? Is that a question or that's a fact? Oh, shit. So, like, seeds are just... Yeah, Granny Smith's a 1 in a million. Pink Lady, 1 in a million. You can't grow them from seed anymore. They've got to be grafted. Madness. So, grafting is basically taking the rootstock of one plant, the upper half, which you actually got the scientific name, what it's called, the scion, SCION, and you apply it to the lower part, it's called the rootstock. And that's been going on for 4,000 years. So it's just mad, isn't it? Like, what is supposed to be very natural, people have painted the sweetest apple by crossing, wants to protect it to make money and stop people from doing that.
See, like
anymore.
a normal banana.
Yeah.
It's massive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you think that's massive, that's up to you.
Yeah, it is big. But you know, a proper original banana is only small.
Yeah. And they used to have seeds as well.
Shut up.
Yeah, bananas used to have seeds. People think that it's artificially, genetically modified, but that's actually naturally, genetically modified, the banana.
Do you know what baffles me? How much is a pineapple in the Asda?
Pound.
Do you know how long it takes to grow a pineapple?
A year.
Wow. Heavy metal, that, isn't it?
Madness. Can't get my head around it.
How would you sell something that took you a year to grow?
Did you come with us to those Victorian RHS greenhouses when we were speaking to the lead horticulturist? That we were there years ago, and he was telling us that in the Victorian times, poor people didn't have pineapples. Rich people would hire a pineapple and put it on the table to signify how rich they were. And then someone come and collect it and take it away.
That's fucking crazy, though.
Yeah, they put it on there. Like people today wear Rolexes and they wear shoes and whatever. They do drive fancy cars. The Victorians used to put pineapples on the tables to show how well off they were. Yeah, there's all kinds of madness going on with the seed. Feminized seeds, radiation, terminator seeds where they basically kill themselves. Like, so if it happens to get out there, this is sort of, they call it a safety mechanism, but if the seed happens to get out and plant itself, it will terminate its life before it gets to fruiting. I mean, so it doesn't, so it can't become another trait. Madness, what goes on.
That's fucking crazy, that, isn't it?
Yeah. She's put at the end, widespread outrage and outright horror at the prospect of Terminator technology, seen it shelved and outright prohibited in certain countries. Today, it remains not yet commercially available. You've also got radiation. People like potatoes are radiated to stop. You ever seen your potatoes grow little green spouts? Yeah. Well, that's it. They don't want that, obviously, so they radiate them.
They don't want it because then you can just grow your own out of it. Or they just don't want it because...
Probably because it spoils and you don't want to eat it, but also because, you just start growing your own potatoes, but they radiate them to stop that from happening. And also to kill spores and bacteria. But yet the seed thing is genuinely scary. Like, how can we be dictated to by several companies about what's grown, where it's grown, how it's grown?
Yeah.
And it's like, you've got no natural selection. Imagine, the problem is Granny Smith apples. Let's just say they're the only apples, or there's 2 or 3 other variants. There's a fungus that comes along, or a virus that wipes out all the apples because because they're the only apples in the world. They all get killed. What nature does is it spreads out its biological genetic diversity, so that if there is a virus that comes and wipes out 2/3, there's 1/3 that's immune, and they can carry on the food supply. Mother Nature's like clever. Humans are not so clever. They just want to make money. And I think could end up fucking up the world.
They've already done it.
Still more interesting for pharmaceuticals versus Mother Nature. There will be a good podcast there. Make sure that's written down. What else have we got to talk about? So we've done medicinal berries, we've done castrated seeds, grown plants indoors. We've got to do the fun guide tree of life, reviving old seeds organically, and Rich Hamilton spider mites. What do you want to do first?
Let's go on reviving old seeds organically.
Yeah, Barry would like a smile. Let's see what this is saying. Let's see what Cody's got to say about this.
Reviving old seeds
Engineer, could I ask a big favour? I only got a small glass.
One. He's not a fucking slave.
I know, he's not. I feel really bad. I know he is, but...
Do you want me to get you one?
No, it's okay.
I'll go and get you a drink.
No, I need to speak. I need you to speak to this.
You can start. Well, why don't you start with Rich Hamilton's spider mites without me?
Oh, he's already gone. No, actually, don't tell lies to the people that are listening. He's just through. He's just waved his e-cig at me and gone, I really need to fill this up. So don't lie to the listeners.
I'm not going to.
Just tell them the truth. He just wants to run down.
The sound engineer does the sound.
No, you would happily take a nice glass of Coke off the engineer. You just want to fill up your vape pen, don't you?
Would you like a custard cream?
We don't have custard creams.
There's just shit round here. I'm coming out here.
Right, do you want me to talk about spider mites while you're gone?
Spider mites while you're gone.
Okay. Let's go to spider mites. Where are you? You're so small, can't see you. Make sure he gets you a Coke as well. I bet you he comes up and doesn't get you a glass of Coke. That's how, that's how bad he was lying. He's not interested in your best welfare. He's not. He just wanted to go for a quick vape. Pull on his ciggy. So where are you? Where's the spider mite article? Here we go. The itsy bitsy spider mite. So this is by Rich Hamilton, and he talks about what are spider mites. So if you listen to this, you know what spider mites are. People who pick up the magazine Garden Culture, they know what spider mites are, but it just gives a good overview again. And as we're coming into the summer, it's a good reminder that these little bastards are everywhere, and they will chew on your fucking plants, and they will destroy your crop in no time at all. Some good little facts and figures here, though. Life cycle and reproduction. Warm, dry climates, spider mites breed at an alarming rate, which is catastrophic in an indoor grow room. When temperatures reach above 30 degrees Celsius, baby spider mites, they sound cute, but they're absolutely not, are born in as little as 3.5 days. Females can lay 200 eggs in her lifetime. In just 15 days, new mites reach adulthood and then lay eggs of their own. And spider mites hatch at a ratio of 3-to-1 female to male. So that's how easily infestations can take hold before you've even noticed. The signs of infestation: tiny brown spots and yellowing leaves are the first indications that spider mites are present. The mites appear as minuscule coloured dots on the underside of leaves and use spider webs to travel between leaves and branches. So how do they affect the plants? Spider mites puncture a hole in the leaf and suck the sap out, causing it to turn yellow, and the entire plant becomes very weak. And if you leave it, they get relentlessly attacked and will die. Also, spider mites transmit diseases as well. So how do you prevent it? Spider mites can't fly, so they will arrive by other infested plants or hitch a ride to the growing environment on a garden or visitor. You also get into greenhouses or grow rooms through ventilation systems, so make sure that your air intake is filtered. Use your fine dust filters in grow room ventilation to prevent spider mites from entering the room. Now remember, these little bastards, I sound like Sean Bean, don't I? Oh, you bastard. They are 0.5 millimetre wide. I think he says that actually. Yeah, 0.4 millimetres long they are. It's very hard to see, so make sure that any intake filter doesn't have holes bigger than 0.4 mil, otherwise they'll get in. Neem oil, other horticultural oils are good for deterrents. The oil creates a barrier between the leaf and the spider mite, and also covers the spider mite, making them weaker, potentially killing them off. If you need to cure an infestation, you need to act fast. If you catch it early enough, neem oil will help. If the infestation is severe, the most effective cure is non-systemic insecticide that kills mites on contact. Dousing the plant with water for a few days will reduce any insecticide residue remaining on the plant. If grown organically, cinnamon clove tea could do the trick, but there's a lot of good products on the market. We like Ceamite. That's very good. It's a mixture of essential oils that works really well if you don't want to use any harsh chemicals. But prevention is the ultimate cure when it comes to spider mites or any pests. So take your time to check your plants thoroughly and regular. May seem daunting, but it's a chore worth doing. I would also say to use a good silica product. Strengthens the plant, makes it harder for the spider mites to attack, and they basically gives you more time to spot them before they wreak reap havoc on your plants.
Isn't there a product that changes the colour of the chlorophyll? It is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Gavita.
Gavita.
Gavita. Hydrotops.
Hydrotops.
They
Hydroponic. What's it called?
Hydrotops.
No.
Gavita.
No, it's not called Hydrotops, the company.
It is.
Bioponic.
Yeah, Hydrotops Bioponic.
Yeah. That's what I said.
You said it's not Hydrotops.
No, Bioponic. Loads of people come in the shop and say, "It's all Bioponic."
Yeah.
So just in case you got it mixed up, it's Hydrotops and Bioponic.
Same thing, isn't it? Just in case people were confused, getting more plants in here. Nearly said your name again. Engineer. If anyone's wondering why we don't say his name, there's no reason at all. He's not like he's wanted or anything. It's just, I think it's funny to not say his name. Keep people guessing who he is. So yeah, good article on spider mites anyway.
Yeah.
And Gavita's good.
Gavita's a boss product.
What else can you use? CANNA Cure is a good product. That's really, though, it's a good as a preventative.
Yeah.
That'll help prevent
it's like a silica. It's not silica, but it acts the same way. It's a preventative.
Yeah, helps strengthen the plant.
And anything you can do to prevent it.
Yeah. So Barry, you wanted to go and get the drinks, didn't you?
Yeah. Juices
because you didn't. You wanted to save Ollie.
You thought
you thought about his welfare.
The engineer. We're calling you the engineer no more. I'm just going to tell everyone you're from the industry as well.
I want to know why you didn't get the engineer a drink.
Did you want one?
He's saying
he
that
never brought his glass in.
He's saying that because he's polite, but he's actually gutted. I've seen the love fade from his face when you only brought 2 drinks up.
Sorry, mate.
If you want a drink, go and get yourself one. What do you want to listen to next? What's the next article?
I want to talk about Cody J. Garrett reviving old seeds.
Of course you do. Well, we've just talked about spider mites, so if you want to know about spider mites, you can listen back to the podcast.
Should you pop the seed in old water?
In what?
Old water.
Old water. No. You know what? Because we haven't done these in order. I've got to flip through and find them now.
You said that we're organic.
Which?
You said then it could be a bit of a touchy one because I don't know whether it is organic.
Yeah, because it says to use hydrogen peroxide.
Cody, man.
That's some good quality H2O2. It was a joke, and you fucking H2O2. Hydrogen peroxide, that's some good quality H2O2.
Fucking hell, the viewers are going down, engineer.
Well, listen, they were certainly going down when you were saying about castration and taking the piss, weren't you? And that's what Barry finds funny. I find Adam Sandler funny. Reviving old seeds organically. What did you think of the article, Barry?
I didn't read it. But you're going to read it out now. Let's all have a laugh.
You little tit. Right.
I told you I'm a drive and drive.
You are.
You know, if we both read that, if we both read that, it'd be like a bit shit, wouldn't it? Because we'd both be on the same page, agreeing, and we would not.
No, we wouldn't.
I'm telling you that some of the articles in there, like, is it 2 pages on cloning organics, cloning plants organically? It's like, yeah, man, just don't use Clonex, mate. That's that page done anyway.
No, what happens, everyone, is I've done this with Barry before. I've done this with Barry before. 2
pieces of good quality tree to write that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. And what's organic about that?
So, the reason that I don't let Barry read the articles anymore is because he gets this cob on when we're in the office and he exhausts himself.
I do.
So at 3 o'clock...
Reading exhausts me.
No, not the reading part. You'll read it and you'll be like...
Isn't it better that he reads them and then I can disagree? Otherwise, we're both going to be on the same page. Or what'll happen is if we both read the article together, we'll agree and disagree. And when we come on the podcast, it's like we'll be on the same page. But don't want to be on the same page. I'd rather argue. You know what I mean?
The real reason is because he gets on his high horse in the office and then he comes onto the podcast and he's all opinionated out and he just sits there. So that's why Barry just gets read to, don't you? So, is it possible? Yes. Reviving old seeds organically, you can do it. But proper pre-treatment is essential, and the older the seed, the less energy it has left in storage. Seeds from annual plants aren't designed to last many years, so that can make the germination process tricky. And eventually the embryo doesn't have any juice left to break the seed coating and push through the soil to the surface. To an extent, we can minimise this through proper storage in cool and dry environments, but still, the passage of time wins. Clean beans, that's what you need. Aggressive tactics are often needed to give the seed a fighting chance. The seeds will need to be cleaned, minimizing any potential mold spores and pathogens that may be on the seed surface. Soaking the seeds in a 1 or 2% hydrogen peroxide solution for a few minutes cleans effectively while also providing slight chemical scarification to the seed coat, which is likely hardened over time. Chemical scarification. For germination to occur, the embryo needs to be able to exchange oxygen with the outside world. But the issue is that the seed coat tends to harden, which prevents them from properly absorbing water and oxygen. H2O2 can provide a chemical roughing. It's often necessary to get a bit more surgical. You know what? I need to double check a fact. I need to double check the fact. Engineer, will you type in H2O2 into Google and say, is H2O2 organic? Because, you know, sometimes it's just an extra. So H2O, water, 1 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. H2O2 is 2 hydrogen, 2 oxygen. So it's literally just an extra oxygen. Sometimes you think something isn't organic, but it actually is. So let's do some research and see what it is. If that doesn't work, though, mechanically scarifying seeds can be as simple as a light sanding along the edge with a piece of sandpaper. But don't go too far, or nicking and notch out the seed coat with a utility knife so you can crack the seed out. I came up with I didn't come up with it. I read that if you pour your seeds into a matchbox, you put a layer of sandpaper inside the matchbox, put your seeds in, close it, and shake them all about, that's enough to abrade the outside, and sort of that helps revive them as well. You've got scrubbing in. You entirely remove the seed coat and directly germinate the embryo by placing it on top of quality propagating media in a good environment. Rejuvenation, this is a good one. This is pretty much the part that's organic. Ensure the best chance of germination. We can replenish some of the energy, soaking them in diluted blackstrap molasses, sugar water, which will help boost the carbohydrate levels. When added to the mix, kelp, fulvic acid, B vitamins, alfalfa meal, coconut water and malted grain, especially barley, provide a fantastic array of biocatalysts, including natural enzymes to wake the tied embryos and get them moving. So this is, I used to do the wet paper tissue method, and I got told off by Ben from Plantasia because he's a proper horticulturalist and he goes like proper in depth. He said, "No, you don't do that. You just put them straight into soil." I'm like, "Yeah, but if you're into soil, you can't see what's doing well. You just lift the tissue up. Yeah, that's done." But he said, like, when you do it on a commercial scale, the pathogens and bacteria, much easier to get into your seeds when you do the wet paper tissue method. So he said, just put them straight into soil. And this is what Cody said as well. The paper towel makes the seeds more prone to pathogens. So put them into a good quality organic soil. Don't give up on older seeds. Try to germinate them to see if they're as good as you remember. So, good article, but I just want to know if H2O2 is classed as organic. And it must be quite complex because the engineer's still Googling. It's like 50-50. We're going to get an answer on that and we'll come back to it. Oh, let's have a look at this. Cameo Chemicals. What have we got sent here? So the structure of the simplest peroxide, hydrogen peroxide, is HOOH. As an inorganic peroxide, hydrogen peroxide is covered under inorganic oxidizing agents, reactivity group 44. Hydroperoxides result from the placement of just one of the H atoms by an organic group. Peroxides, organic. Oh, apparently I can't have more than 99 tabs open at once. Shit. I need to get some of my tabs down.
Oh, wow.
Fucking hell. Mixed peroxides, organic with... So what do you think then? End conclusion? Hydrogen peroxide, not organic? Technically, chemically, it's got to have a carbon in there. It's got to have the C in there to be organic. Organic chemistry is classed as anything that's carbon-based. And it's slowly produced by...
But in the same breath, it's not going to come out in the end product.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's the same as Clonex, on it.
Yeah,
it's not going to come out in your end product.
Well, we like to disagree. We like to be...
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with him.
But it's not organic.
It's not organic, but...
And the title is How to Revive
Old
Seeds Organically.
Yeah, but he's going to say what I'm going to say.
What?
It's not going to come out in the end product.
So don't
But I would say
call the
that-
title of the article "How to Revive Old Seeds Organically." Then, but I'm going to come to a rally with you.
You're
Yo,
right.
sound stay, and I turn up on a bike. Turn up on a bike. Not what you said you were coming in. Do you know what I mean?
So you're saying both of his articles are a bit pointless?
No, I'm saying that
Why are you saying that?
H2O2 is not organic. So,
So it's
if
not
you want to be
organic.
organic,
Don't use that.
yeah.
But if you use Clonex in his other article, that's not going to come out in the end product.
So, what are you saying, Barry?
I don't know what to think. He's baffled me a little bit.
Your pineal gland.
If he'd have put in his first article about Clonex, and I'm
Barry's head's completely melted. What have you put in your pen?
do you reckon if you did use Clonex though, it would
No,
show at the end?
no,
It never.
no.
1,000,000%.
99.99%.
So why bother? Why bother doing an article on it?
I don't know.
Do you know what I mean?
Here's an update from the engineer. Hydrogen peroxide is considered appropriate for use in organic gardens because it quickly breaks down into harmless oxygen and water molecules.
Yeah, I agree. I'd use it. If it's going to revive an old seed, what you've done well out of in the past, then use it. It's not going to show it's not going to have any resemblance of that in the end product. So use it.
And for that
The
reason,
same way as using Clonex in organic is not going to show anything at the very end. What you're going to do if you want to grow organically is you're going to put yourself through a world of shit trying to get cuttings to root. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And what is another good point to make?
But it is good not to use it if you are organic.
Yeah. Well, people, it's listen, it's someone smarter than me has decided that can be classified as organic because even though the product isn't organic,
It just breaks
it
down
breaks down
rapid.
that quickly to hydrogen and oxygen, which
Is fair dues.
Yeah.
So he's saying it's organic to do it. And it is.
Yeah.
And I agree, even if it wasn't organic, that product wouldn't be in the end result anyway, so
it's safe to use.
Makes no odds, does it?
What next? What next and what is last is by Ari Singer, The Fungi Tree of Life. The fungi life cycle. I said tree because it's got a big root picture. And we have got our beautiful trees on our background.
Fungi Tree of Life.
Yeah, so this is interesting. I'm not going to read the article out like I do on some of the others because it's you need to read it. If you're interested, you need to read it. So some of the points are the mycorrhizal fungi penetrate root cells and from there branch out into soil and search for nutrients. So you've got fungi in commercial products, methods of producing mycorrhizal fungi, which is in vitro or in vivo, nature versus a controlled environment, endomycorrhizal fungi life cycle, and a source as well. Very good article. That was my favourite. This is my favourite article, the whole one, because it just reiterates. So it starts off by saying, I'll read the intro out. You've decided to add beneficial microbes to your growing process for the first time and dabbling with the idea of adding mycorrhizal fungi to the mix. You head over to the nearest grow shop and get a recommendation from the sales rep to pick up product X. You excitedly head home and apply the product to your plants. Congratulations. But what exactly is that bag you've purchased? How does it work? How can a living organism arrive in a sealed bag and affect and benefit your plants? They've been around for 400 million years. You know what I like about fungi or fungi? They are hugely beneficial to your plant. And to put this into a podcast and try and describe it, you've got your root system, yeah? Without fungi or bacteria, your root system is visibly what it is. When you introduce fungi, the roots, you develop an invisible root system, hyphae. And what the fungi does is it extracts locked up nutrients and makes it available to the plant. And the plant says thank you by giving the fungi carbohydrates, sugars, and they feed each other. It's synergistic.
Mm.
They've been around for 400 million years, and what some people say is that you're not really getting the most benefit out of them when your plant is in one pot, because the way we talk and the way we communicate mostly these days is on the internet, the World Wide Web, and I'm sure they called it something in here. I think they call it this something similar, but the World Wood Web, or what I need to find is Wood Wide Web. So outside in the rainforest, people think, how are these trees, like there's no one ever fertilizes the soil, it's just rain. How are these trees so big? How are the leaves so green? How are they so healthy?
The fungi spread that far.
Yeah. The biggest living organism in the world is a fungi.
Yeah.
And what it does is it starts in one tree, one plant, penetrates the root cells to extract the carbohydrates and to deliver the nutrients. And it slowly branches out further than the roots ever could. And it comes into contact with another tree root and thinks, hang on a minute, I can get more carbohydrates here. So it attaches to them and extracts the carbohydrates from them and gives them nutrients from the surrounding area. And it goes on its travels again. And before you know it, it's linking
hundreds,
dozens, hundreds, thousands of trees, depending on where you are. And then these trees talk to each other through the fungi. So if one trees get attacked by a virus or a pest, the other trees know and put its defenses up through the Wood Wide Web, and they talk to each other through the fungi.
So one tree on one side of the forest is like, yeah, man, you haven't laid internet here. Yeah. And it's just waiting for the fungi.
Yeah. It's
so we can get in contact with its mate.
Yeah, the BT engineers of the fungi world to come and say hello. And
it's clever though, isn't it?
Belter.
And see that?
Mother Nature.
See that? It's been happening since well before we were here.
400 million
years ago. See what I mean? It's some real good shit there, that.
It is.
So I mean, that's what I like. I like that.
In Mother Nature, in nature, fungi is like unbelievable. In our pots indoors, doesn't have the potential to branch out and talk to your other plants, but it's still fantastic.
So if them trees in that rainforest get spied, they might do all the other trees had known, put the defences up about it. So if we could link all our plants indoors, it's like they'd all know when one got it, they'd all be like, yeah, fuck this, mate, bump, guard up, done.
Yeah.
Bit like COVID.
Yeah.
Where if we knew you had COVID,
we go into lockdown.
Fingers crossed. Then, yeah,
everyone, got into lockdown,
we could just lock you up instantly and no one else would get it.
That's it. Yeah, you would.
Clever, like, isn't it?
It is. So that's a good
I
article.
always say, don't I, plants are just like us, and look at the fuckers now, they've got the internet. Do you know what I mean? Landlines.
The fuckers have got internet.
Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
It is, though, isn't it?
Do you reckon when... when the fucking hay fever season comes, that's the plants looking at porn?
Yeah.
On the Wood Wide Web.
Here's Barry walking through with the kids in his bed. Now throw it at him now. All like that, look.
The acorn saying to the oak tree, ooh, got good wood here, you know, mate.
Yeah.
Sexy bastards.
Look at the bark on him now.
Look at that young fucking sapling.
Okay, stop it now, because it'll get shit. That's what happens.
Oh, you're always the one to say get shit, aren't you? Aye. Say another joke. Which the fungi?
All of it.
Good. I'm glad.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you did nap off on a couple of occasions.
It's just when you talk science. It's when you start adding N to L and incorporate 70, and I don't know what happens.
You just sound like Joe Biden then.
Just start adding stuff up, and I think, wow.
Have you heard Joe Biden on YouTube?
No.
He's watching. Sorry if there's Joe Biden fans out there. I'm not saying he's bad or he's good or whatever. Just saying on YouTube he comes across as an absolute turd.
And I do.
No, you've just gone. When you start talking science with all your L and 64 and spud guns on space and moon landings in 54 and home time, food, desserts.
That's what you do, though. When you talk science, just go to sleep.
It's
better that I just arrive and drive.
It's better when you stay awake. That's it, Barry. You can go home now.
Is that it?
That's it. You're done. How long was that podcast, engineer? 1 hour and 36. good.
Wow.
We do fucking drivel on a little bit, don't we?
Wow.
So next week's podcast will be the next Broken Biscuits Part 2. That's the title of the podcast, called Broken Biscuits Part 1, a garden culture review. And
Just think this podcast will explode right through the fungi that we know of the internet.
oh yeah, we're now gone 5 downloads through the Wood Wide Web now. Everyone that's listening, if you made it this far, well done. Also, do you know what we need to do? No, we'll do it on next week's podcast.
What?
We've got some winners from, remember the House and Garden podcast?
Yeah.
They won some prize, didn't they? But I think we've still got 2 left. So we're going to, next week, we'll shout out some people. You know what we're going to do next week? We're going to go live on Instagram. The first 2 people that come on to the live Instagram are going to win a House and Garden feed. Follow us at NPK Podcast and be the first 2 people on there for a free House and Garden sample pack. There you go. Right, that's podcast 226 with me, Steve.
And Buzzer.
And we'll see you next week.
Yes, mate.
Bye-bye.
All right.